Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I am tickled pink to be bringing you this video. If you haven't already subscribed to the Traveling Crafters channel, that's Angela, then you should, because she does some very interesting projects. She's also the brainchild behind the Makers Market and has regular Thursday live sales. Anyway, in a brazen case of daylight robbery, I stole this idea from her. Modified it somewhat, though. So she did a video a little while ago where she had a doll clothes pattern, and she used it to create really cute journaling tags. Now, I don't know if I have a pattern like that, but I thought, what the heck? I can draw. I have a pencil. I can make my own pattern. So I proceeded to do that. Now, just like when we were in school and you wanted your heart to have two even-sized lobes, you folded your paper in half and drew it out so that each half would be symmetrical. And that's what I did. Now, I have quite a few things going on here, and I'll tell you why. And this one is not finished, but I'll put it aside for the time being. So then, okay, I didn't want it to be like a baby doll pattern. I didn't want it to be like a skinny mini Barbie clothes pattern. I wanted it to be something in between. But I also measured it to make sure that the height and the width were kind of, acceptable for most journals. You don't want the card to be gigantic and not fit anywhere after you've done all that work. So, I putzed around with this quite a bit because what looks okay in half profile doesn't necessarily translate well when you open it up. So I then traced this onto a thicker piece of cardboard so that I would have a substantial pattern. And I also then traced it onto pieces of this cardstock. Now, I added a bit of a flounce at the bottom, just for a little bit of style. I played around with the neckline. It would have been easier to do a V-neck, but then I thought, well, that could be, mind you, that would have been easier to sew too. Okay, note to self, make a new pattern, make a V-neck. Although I don't know that many little kids wear V-necks, to be honest. It's older women who want to minimize the size of their breast, Anyway, it's neither here nor there. And then I thought, well, wouldn't a smaller one be cute? So I kind of took the dimensions down. And then I realized that in some of these, it looked like not that babies or little kids really have waists, so to speak, but I just kept putzing around with it. And then I had something weird. The armholes were way too big. Have you ever bought one of those tops where, most of the side of your bra is showing? Like, what's up with that? Who designed that? Somebody in their craft room. So I had a problem with armholes. This, I used my little 1-inch or whatever, punch. Anyway, I would trace things out, and if it needed a little adjustment at the last minute, I'd do that too, so hey. And then I started sewing around them. Oh, I also played around with this. Not because I'm not insane enough to try sewing something this size. However, would this not be the cutest little thing cut out of paper? Like, I don't have a die, I don't have a Cricut, I don't have a die to cut a teeny tiny dress. But wouldn't that be cute? Oh, and I suppose it's not always summer. These dresses could also have sleeves. Anyway, just to keep things simple, I did that. Okay, I'll show you okay, so this is one of the prototypes. Oh, and let me just say, I'm taping this on the morning of the 23rd. There was an unfortunate incident. And if you listen to my Christmas Day message, you will get the full extent of it. But that explains some of this warpy stuff here. Okay, then I had this fabric. Now, I did not cut this on the bias. I didn't know that. I couldn't get that even in high school, so in home ec, so not likely to do it on a doll dress. And then I was thinking, oh, is this going to make her look fat? Because, you know, the angle of them, you know, we're so brainwashed about stuff like that. So I sewed around these three. These were my first ones. Oh, I added some baby rickrack. And I also pre-selected some buttons. Then I did a batch of these little guys. Now, if you see some of this sewing, and of course I didn't want to change to, you know, a green, a blue, oh, this is probably, I'll show you that one last. So I just used white. Now, if you look closely, you'll think, oh, distracted sewing. Okay, this is my story and I'm sticking with him. The sun was in my eyes. My dog ate my homework. And there was a hair in my face. So that's my excuse for this. This one looks like I might need to put a string of pearls around her neck to cover up that sloppy bit. I have to say, in all seriousness, it is more challenging when the width of a girl's strap is 1 stitch wide. So just be aware of that. So then I thought, well, can't these people have a little bit of style? So then I kind of made an imaginary waistband for them. And then, this is probably my favorite, look at this one. Now, this fabric was really quite sheer. So it's almost like she needed a camisole or a slip underneath, but I'm not going to care. I mean, that is a fairly dark color for kind of almost a sheer fabric. But then this matched perfectly, so I added a little, and here she almost looks like she's going to maybe some kind of ballroom dancing or something with that little flouncy thing. Okay, now I do have a couple, I do have a couple pieces of fabric ready to go. Oh, I guess I have 3 pieces. Probably won't have time to do all of them. It's simple. It's mind-blowingly simple, except for the sewing. And then we'll decorate these guys. So this is lovely. Where are some scissors? Anyway, I think that Angela's premise, I think, was to use them in a sewing journal, but obviously they could go in anything. This, see how you can probably see my hand through there. This one matches that blush project that I'm working on, so that's probably where that one's going to go. Oh, here are my patterns. So I have a little guy cut out for, oh, this is going to be touch and go here. Well, I can trim it if necessary. You know, alterations to order kind of thing. I see was playing around with that neckline. Hey, why don't I, mind you, do I want to bend it in half? Oh, I have this one that's bent and that I folded in half because I was putzing around with something. Let's turn this into a V-neck. Now this could, oh, this is going to be a little bit plunging because, oh, hey, that's very flattering. Okay, so that will be there. Now, you know what? I think once this is all glued together, it'll be fine. And look at, that's not how a dress should look. So that, okay, when I fold it, I'm going to fix those pointy corners because that was an earlier iteration of my pattern. Looks like, oh, this is so hard to fold because it got wet. That should be, I believe, a little straighter. But let's make this a V-neck. Okay, that should be fine. I have to do that again. So if you have bits and pieces of fabric, especially, you know, the ones with the tiny scale designs, this is an awesome idea. And then, I didn't line this up very well. And then you've got the embellishing. I'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. Okay. Excuse me. So basically, all I did was use a glue stick. And that is got plenty sticking power for this fabric because, you know, it's, as a rule, it's pretty lightweight stuff. The same cannot be said for the embellishments. I should have a card here somewhere. So you kind of really want to smooth it out, make good contact with the glue, as well as, you know, I didn't take the time to iron this fabric, but it wasn't overly creased, and I thought I could just, you know, sort of you know, flatten out any curves that there might be, or not curves, creases. Got curves on the brain here. And then again, I'm planning to sew, so even if I could leave it further away from the edge, in fact, that might be a smarter thing to do. So typically I just slide this under my mat here, give it a chance to flatten out. Now that has a selvage edge on it, so, and you can see this fabric is pretty thin as well. Okay, that's not going to be an issue. So I hope that you choose to do this. I think they are going to be so cute in any project. Now, you can probably see, I hope you can see what's going on here. You can probably see that I have a couple button jars and pre-selected some stuff. My hands are getting so sticky. I have to say that plaid, yoy. With the plaid, I tried very hard to keep the lines relatively straight. because, of course, you know, just much like if you were sewing a real garment, if something is going uphill or downhill, or, you know, the patterns don't match or whatever, it's pretty obvious. It's like a flashing light that says, look here, look here, look here. Now, again, you know, we have the ability to you know, glue stuff on and embellish further. But, you know, the closer to good you can do it in the first place, the fewer alterations you have to do. The less remedial work you have to do. Okay, this stuff is pretty, okay, that's the brighter side. Now, which way does this fit better? Oh, I could put it, oh, no, not that doesn't help. I was going to say I could put it on here diagonally. I could do it that way, and then the selvage edge will be kind of where the hem is. And this is still not perfect. Look at, these two things are not even. And this is how it goes from a size whatever to a size. Oh, she's a size 0. In what world is that a reality? Anyway, okay, yikes, I slathered that on there. Mind you, I'm not cutting this out or decorating it or anything. I just wanted to show you my flawless technique. So I'm going to get that as low as I can. That way those shoulder straps will be fine. But see how it, you can really kind of see that there's something darker underneath. Okay. So I just have to remember at some point that there are 3 drying under here. So I told you that I sewed around, and of course, it's the smartest thing to do is wait till the glue is dry. And I looked through my baby rickrack, and I have, you know, I kind of have my rickrack and seam binding here. Sierra, I had you in mind when I was fingering through this rickrack. So obviously rickrack is an option. Lace is an option. Different placement of rickrack is an option. And at first I used Fabri-Tac, and I gotta say it didn't. Oh, you know what? This one suffered with my little incident, so this will be going in my prototype book. Oh, and I see that I didn't trim the. Okay, so let's put that on the side. I think Angela, well, on one of hers, she added an apron, which was a cute idea. And, oh, see, I forgot to look for buttons for these other guys. At first, I was just working on these blue and red ones. So, I don't know, have you ever seen these? I think that that's a bit small. Even, well, it might, maybe I could find some green ones to put on that one. Oh, I was talking about art glitter glue. It did not work well enough. So I ended up having to, and I thought that doing that and then sewing it down at the edges would help, but of course it can lift in the middle. So then what I did was, I of course had to touch it up with Fabri-Tac. And then on these other guys that came later, I did that right off the bat, so there's no issue. And hopefully it was dry enough that I didn't really wreck the new needle that I put in just lately. Now, because I didn't want to, I like this, the way this lace is flaring out a bit here, I just began my stitching kind of underneath there and ended it underneath there. And, you know, there's no stitching around the neckline. I did stitch through the bottom here though. So I have a whole container of these things. I have no idea what they are. I have them in a couple of sizes in many colors. And I thought, oh, that could be an embellishment. But these are, they're thick, so I have to figure out another way to use them. So on the, okay, let's just start doing something. Oh, and I also brought out my little bin of ribbons, but most of the colors are not good, or the scale is wrong. I did find this one though, and I thought, oh, I think I was gonna, or was it this one? I thought I was gonna, oh, it doesn't really go around that girl's waist, does it? Maybe I was gonna put it on this one and kind of make like she had a waist. Oh, I know, I was gonna use this little black thread on this one. Or this is cord, I guess. This was a little piece of garbage from a book binding. And, you know, when you have too much cord and you cut it off. Oh, and I also found this among the buttons. So that could also be, well, why don't I just start at one end and go in order? Maybe, oh, no, I won't be able to pick it up. How about if I just do that? We can pretend that maybe she has like a corsage or something. Just trying to get the glue off here. Like I said, these are a lot of fun. I have a good vocabulary, and I don't like to just default to the, I don't like to just fill the air. I want what I say to be meaningful. So typically, I never say that anything is fun because I have more descriptive ways of explaining things. But I have to say, I'm making an exception. These are fun. Okay, we will let that one dry. Okay, let's do this guy, the bumblebee one. I know that, excuse me, that I want this little bow off to the side. Oh, I should have dumped out those baby buttons there. Come on. And I think that for this, I haven't used this glue for a while, and it's being a little temperamental. I think that for, excuse me, for adding the embellishments, I wouldn't fool around with art glitter glue. I think it's inviting either failure or having to do things umpteen times. I suppose the little yellow, oh, that's the problem. They're so tiny. Or let's try that green, if I can grab one. I think it has to be yellow because the green is sort of lost on there. This looks like a defective one. Got some kind of, I think we can afford to throw that one away. Maybe 2 is enough. So I will try I will try to put the 2 blobs of glue where I need it. And of course, that's too much to hold. Oh, that's too much to hold anything that tiny. Mind you, it'll dry by the time I get the second one down. I do have tweezers, but why would I use those? And then I'm thinking, isn't it funny that I'm playing around with this? The nice thing about Fabri-Tac is that you have a few seconds to play if something is offset. Okay, so that is good. I don't think we'll be using these anymore. This is a little canister from David's Teas. David's, plural. Okay, what are we doing here? Or was I considering a great big red button for this? And maybe, you know what, I was probably going to put that there and then forgot and put the rickrack. I got all discombobulated. This feels like this pattern and this size of dress can take it. So without further ado, I'm trying to just go around the perimeter. It'll probably ooze towards the center when I put pressure on it. And of course, there would have also been the option of sewing this on, or at least fake sewing it on, because if, in fact, mind you, with this lumpy stuff on the front, maybe no one would ever right at the back. Okay, so we can't, oh, too bad I didn't. I should have looked for some bling to cover that awful sewing. This is probably enough on its own, so I'm going to leave that. Maybe I will just quickly, or do I have some in here? You know that very tiny, tiny, tiny pearl strand? I think it's still on the market. We used to use it in the shop for you know, Christmas ornaments and stuff like that back in the day. I'll just get the bling. And hopefully I can show you what I mean. Oh, yes. This stuff. I mean, sometimes it comes... I have enough here to do 3 strands of pearls. Whoops. So I'm going to have a mess. I wonder, I probably don't have any of the finer stuff here. Oh, let's not waste any more time looking. Now this is definitely going to take, I'll make it a little longer just because it's a pain to work with. I mean, until the glue grabs. So I'm just going to lay a bead of glue around and then set those pearls in place. And I guess if I had to clamp them down. I could. Okay, it covers up the awful sewing. That's good. That was the whole intent there. And it amps up her outfit too. I guess I should pull that up or maybe down a smidge, because I have to obviously cut it in between the beads. So, oh brother, see, I moved it and I kind of made a bit of a mess there. Now I could wait until this dries and it would be easier, but okay, let's cut that off there. Yeah, right now that's showing up as a light spot, so I'll definitely pick away at this a bit. Oops. Can't she leave well enough alone? It would be easier if it was dry, and then it just rolls off. Okay, enough. Enough. Okay, let's lay these guys out. Hopefully you can see. Oh, yes. And the boo-boo one. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty pleased. Okay, guys, that is it for today. Go out and make doll clothes. Yay! Anyway, the sky's the limit in terms of how you can embellish. I think I've shown you a few different ways here. With bling, with pearls, with rickrack, with bows, with lace, with buttons. Yay! Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.